If nuclear weapons are so dangerous, why is it okay for America to have thousands, but Iran can't even have one? If Iran goes nuclear, Saudi's going to want one, Egypt, Turkey, and suddenly you've got like Oprah. You get a nuke, and you get a nuke, and everybody gets a nuke. Does nuclear deterrence keep peace, or does it just delay inevitable destruction? Honestly, is the world safer with only a few nuclear powers, or would parity mean total meltdown faster? All right, hey everybody. Here's the thought for today. If nuclear weapons are so dangerous, why is it okay for America to have thousands, but Iran can't even have one? This was a question posed to me by my producers, and a subsequent challenge they pinned on me for this episode. They basically said, hey Ryan, can you talk about nukes without sounding like a biased American? Spoiler alert, probably not. I'll sure try. And FYI, they are not American, but I am. Welcome to Stay in the Gray Podcast. It's July 2nd. This will release on July 4th, so happy July 4th. Happy Independence Day for the United States. I hope everybody is safe, and don't set any fireworks off in your hands, you morons. But I call it happy. We kick the crap out of Great Britain Day, and let's move forward. How about we rewind for a second? Back in 1945, America dropped 2 atomic bombs on Japan.
American planes dropped 2 atomic bombs on Japan.
And effectively said, yeah, we're running the show, bitch. Fast forward to 1968, and the world signs the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, the NPT. Basically, the 5 nuclear powers, the United States, Russia, China, the United Kingdom, France, shook hands and said, we promise not to spread nukes, but we're going to keep ours, thanks. But here's the thing. Some countries were like, screw that. India tested its first nuke in 1974 under Operation Smiling Buddha.
"50 years ago, India conducted its first nuclear test in Pokhran, codenamed Operation Smiling Buddha,
claiming it was for, I can't even say it, peaceful nuclear explosion technology. Sure, I can just picture a statue of Buddha next to a red button. Pakistan followed suit in 1998.
We're taking you back in history. On this day in 1998, Pakistan became a nuclear power. It conducted 5 simultaneous underground nuclear tests.
In direct response to India, with Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif saying, today we have settled the score with India. Not sure what score they settled, but now there are 2 countries, which we just found out, are sitting next to each other with nuclear capabilities. How about Israel? They've never officially confirmed it, but I think everybody knows what they're packing. North Korea. Well, they just went rogue with their first test in 2006. Despite the global sanctions.
North Korea says it successfully carried out yet another underground nuclear test. This one was conducted in the same area where the country carried out its first successful test in 2006. Seismic activity measuring magnitude 5.3 has been detected at the suspected underground bomb site.
So why does America care so much about Iran having the nukes? Well, let's talk about it. First, Israel and Saudi Arabia are ride or die besties, although Israel tension is there in today's world between us and Israel. But there are besties in the Middle East. If Iran goes nuclear, Saudi's going to want one, Egypt, Turkey, and suddenly you've got like Oprah. You get a nuke, and you get a nuke, and everybody gets a nuke. That's not good. Some may downplay that reason as part of why we're doing this, but not me. I'm not downplaying that. Second, Iran funds groups like Hezbollah, and not just Hezbollah. How about they fund Hamas? Hamas, whether you link them to the Palestinian government or not, they are in charge. They launched thousands of rockets into Israeli civilian areas. They have. Palestinian Islamic Jihad group active in Gaza, backed by Iran with weapons and funding. About the Houthi rebels in Yemen. They've targeted Saudi airports, oil facilities with drones and missiles.
Yemen's Iran-aligned Houthi group used drones to attack two major Saudi Arabian oil installations, including the world's largest oil processing facility.
And let me, I'm going to butcher this. Kataib and then Hezbollah in Iraq, responsible for attacks on U.S. bases, including the 2019 attack killing an American contractor. Giving them nukes is like giving a guy who already has a flamethrower a grenade launcher. I'm not so sure that all of these groups would have restraint. And third, this is an arms race in a region that's already, let's be honest, one goat away from full-blown chaos. Do you really want to add nukes to that equation? So here comes the moral dilemma from everybody. America boasts, do as we say, not as we do. I get it. Many don't like that. But if nuclear deterrence keeps peace, why shouldn't everyone get one? But then there's the realist counter-argument. Some states are responsible, some aren't. Who decides? Right. How about the ones holding the nukes? And I get that that statement isn't very well received by those without the nukes, or by those who look in America and say, who the fuck do you think you are? I get that. But there's a truth to it. And don't worry, it's not just Iran that sees the hypocrisy there. Listen to what other countries think. Germany's former foreign minister, Sigmar Gabriel, in 2017 said, if the U.S. withdraws from Iran deal, it risks being seen as a nation that disregards its own agreements and global norms. South Korea's President Moon Jae-in in 2020, I thought South Korea basically did whatever we told them to. He said, we live under a nuclear shadow, not of our making, and yet we're told we must never pursue it ourselves. Seems about right. Japan's Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, I think I said that right, he said, as the only country to suffer nuclear attack, fair enough, we oppose proliferation in all forms. The global nuclear powers must also act in good faith. I would say that besides a couple threats here and there over the years, the big five have shown restraint. Is that not good faith in his eyes? Global nuclear parity sounds nice until you realize it's basically a worldwide game of Russian roulette with no blanks. But let's flip the camera to Iran's perspective. Why does Iran want the nukes? Well, according to them, first, deterrence. That's what we all say. The U.S. and Israel have threatened them for decades. Well, I've never heard U.S. leaders claim they want to wipe Iran off the map. However, nukes are their try us button. Second, national pride. As an American, trust me, I understand. They've built advanced missile systems. Nuclear tech is next. And honestly, who wants to be told what they can and cannot do? Power is a universal drug. Iran just doesn't want to be left out of the club. I can't blame them. Third, protection from intervention. Libya gave up its nuclear program, then Gaddafi was dragged through the streets. North Korea kept theirs, and they're still standing. But if you think Iran's leadership is subtle about their feelings towards America, here are a few gems from the past. Ayatollah Khomeini, don't yell at me for my pronunciation, folks, in 1980 said the United States is the great Satan. This was during the Islamic Revolution, framing the U.S. as an imperialist oppressor. A lot of people believe that. I'll admit it. Another quote from the same man, Ayatollah Khomeini, in 2015. I'm not a math major, but that's 35 years later. The U.S. is an enemy who smiles while stabbing you in the back. So they don't think very highly of us. That was said during nuclear deal negotiations, warning Iranians not to trust American promises. We get it. You don't like us. Mohammed Ahmadinejad. Hopefully I did that all right. 2005. Israel must be wiped off the map. That was at a Tehran conference titled "The World Without Zionism."
Taking aim once again at Israel and the United States, Iranian President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad repeated inflammatory comments that he made 3 years ago, saying Israel would soon disappear.
How about the Iranian parliament chanting "Death to America" after Trump withdrew from the Iran nuclear deal? To me, that seems a little extreme. Death to America. But sure, we'll just hand them the codes and hope for the best. Let's go back to the global thoughts on this. Russia and China, they have kind of a go ahead, Iran. It annoys America, so we're all for it attitude. Europe is just, please no more. We're tired. Brexit broke us already. The neighboring countries, mild panic, diplomatic letters, and arms deals behind closed doors. Countries like India and Pakistan, they're just glad nobody's paying attention to their nukes. For now. Then there was the JCPOA, the Iran nuclear deal. This was signed under Obama, nuked under Trump, and now it's just floating out there like in diplomatic purgatory, like your last unread text. That's where the world kind of stands on all of this. That's what's going on. So again, here's the ethical gut punch. Let's continue to talk about it. Is it fair for a handful of countries to decide who gets nukes? Does nuclear deterrence keep peace, or does it just delay inevitable destruction? Honestly, is the world safer with only a few nuclear powers, or would parity mean total meltdown faster? Here's my American take. And don't at me. I warned you. We've heard Iran call us the Great Satan for decades. We watched them cheer in the streets after 9/11. Many of us will never, ever, ever forget that. Their extremist leaders vowed to wipe Israel and America off the map. Do you think we're just going to hand them nukes and say, please don't be naughty with them? You see, the US and Russia and China, they use nukes as geopolitical chess pieces. Nobody actually wants to press the red button because it means mutual destruction and terrible PR. But extremist groups, they glorify martyrdom. Death is a victory to them. That makes them far more likely to actually use a nuke in a tense situation. And yeah, we accept our role in the United States as big, bad, tough America. And as much as the world hates our arrogance, it exists for a reason. It's like it or not, the world doesn't work with every other country holding equal power. It just doesn't. And there's a reason the line to get into this country has always been, even if admittedly shorter today, very, very long. I can admit to the arrogance. Can you admit to it being a necessity in this case? So what do you think? Should Iran be allowed to have nuclear weapons if the US, Russia, and even Israel have them? Or is that basically pressing the world's self-destruct button twice? I'm going to add this in. Personally, I don't think Israel should have them. The regional conflict there is absolutely out of control, and it always has been. It'd be like handing grenades to a bunch of drunk, hyperactive chimps. They just start flinging them around. And I don't think that's a great idea. So let me know your thoughts on all this in the comments. Iran with nukes. America, shut the fuck up. Leave them. Should America leave them alone? As much as some of you hate to admit it, are we doing the right thing here? And if you're feeling generous, hit like, hit subscribe, follow, whatever the platform may be, so that I can keep tackling these types of questions that get me in trouble with my producers. So stay thinking, stay questioning, stay laughing. If you can, stay in the gray. I'll see you guys. I love you.